Thank you.
Good afternoon, David.
Afternoon.
Can you just start off with team news? What's the latest on tomorrow?
Well, unfortunately, we lost Winston Reid and Sam Byron in the game last week. Both of them, well, Winston we think will be out for the rest of the season, and Sam Byron, we are just waiting on a decision from the surgeon at the moment, but it doesn't look great either. So that's disappointing because Sam's obviously just back from injury, as is Winston Reid. But they both took the injuries in the game. But I think after that, we're hoping that Angelo's trained this week. His was an illness. Ginge we're still monitoring. But everything going well, hopefully they'll be fit.
The Winston Reid news in particular, how big a blow is that?
It's a really big blow because he's a really important player for us. He's experienced. And with the games we've got coming up in the next sort of 10 weeks or so, he's going to be really important.
You weren't happy with that defeat to Swansea. I heard you called it the worst performance under your managership since you arrived here. What's been the message to the players and how they reacted at the training ground since?
Well, to get rid of it very quickly. But I wasn't going to kid anybody else on. When we don't play well, then I'm going to tell people we don't play well. But I've got to say, we've played really well prior to it. We've had some really good results. But we need to improve, and if we play like that, then it'll not be so good. But there was mitigating circumstances. I think we go into the game without 3 or 4 sort of key players, and we don't want to make excuses, but that's facts.
The relegation picture seems to be changing week by week. When you look at the situation as it stands now, how many teams do you realistically think are involved in it, and how many points do you think it will take?
Well, I think that it's changing all the time because I don't think there's very little between the teams from, say, 10th down to right down at the bottom. So I think any one team could beat the other. I've thought that for a while actually, and you've just got to pick up the points when you can. You know, we've had some really big wins against some of the teams around us, but we've also had a couple of defeats. But that's typical, I think, of the sort of bottom end of the league at this time. The amount of points, I think 40's always tended to be the sort of the safe bet. If you get 40, then you're pretty much there. We've got 10 points to go then to get 40, so we've got to try and get that.
With 9 games to go, have you seen a situation like this? For example, you saw Crystal Palace. They could have gone up to 13th had they held on against Manchester United, but they stay in the relegation zone. It's that tight. It's
that tight. And I think sometimes you think that your position gives you a cushion, but really it's not, because you need the points to get the cushion. So we're all fighting really hard for points, and you can see it. It's competitive. The teams are all doing everything they can to make sure they stay up.
Just given how hard it is, in particular this season, how would you rank it in your managerial career if you were to keep West Ham up? Would it be up there?
Well, apart from last year, I don't think I've really been involved too much at the bottom end of the table. Maybe the odd year at Everton, but overall, mainly working higher up. But I would say that it's the most competitive. I think the Premier League, we all think that the top 6 are very difficult to beat and hard to play against. We know that. But I think from anywhere down then, you know, I think on their day, MD could beat MD else, and it's made the Premiership very competitive. And I think it's going to be tight. I think it's probably going to go to the last day for many teams.
You mentioned those 40 points. Your opponents tomorrow actually reached that 40-point target last week.
Yeah.
Do you think perhaps, in a way, it might be the best time to play Burnley?
I don't think there's any really good time to play any Premier League team, because you just never know when they're in a good spell or a bad spell. They've had a really good victory last week, which they'll be buoyant by. But as well as that, you know, we've had good results at our stadium, and we're going to have to try and make that count. We've got 6 games remaining at home this season, and we think that in those 6 games we can accumulate enough points to stay in the Premier League. So tomorrow's the first of them. You know, the players know exactly what's required of them, what we need to do. So I'm more interested in the points we get than the points that Burnley have got.
After tomorrow, there's a bit of a break. You've got 3 weeks until your next game. What will you do during that time? Well,
we've got a week off next week, and then we've got 2 weeks in international break where we've got quite a lot of players on international break, so they'll go away, and we'll be training. We've taken a friendly game against Dagenham and Redbridge, who've asked for some help financially, and we'll play them in a game. And I think it's quite a good thing because we don't play for 3 weeks, so we'll enjoy that.
And any plans to go away, maybe get away?
Yeah, we'll see how things go, and we'll make some plans to get away in the next few days, hopefully.
Just on the time that you have off, you've come in obviously in November. You probably haven't had this much time with your team, given all the games,
Yeah.
without a game. How beneficial could that be for you?
Well, we've had a little bit. We had a week or so off about 2 weeks ago, and we got a bit of time with the players. But I think more importantly, I think that the players have had a long period of play, right from really the 1st of July to now. So, you know, they need a bit of recovery time. Since I've been here, I've got to say the players have done great for me. Yeah, we've had a few downs, but in the main they've been very good. So hopefully we'll try and make sure that the players are well recovered and ready for the next game, which after Burnley isn't for 3 weeks till against Southampton.
There is talk of going away warm weather training. Is that the case?
It's a possibility, yeah.
Just finally for me, you'll obviously be aware during your whole playing career, your managerial career, the impact Bobby Moore had on this football club. Has it been heightened, the impact that he's had on this particular football club since you've arrived, and how poignant it is tomorrow?
Well, everybody knew about Bobby Moore. Even a Scotsman knows about Bobby Moore and what happened. But I think more importantly, I think when you join a club, you get to understand about the legends and the people who the supporters sort of look back at with fond memories. And obviously, Bobby's was a tragic death, and something which we're right to continually to celebrate because he was a great player here. There'll be a lot of the young people at West Ham supporters and a lot of the new supporters that come to the stadium now maybe never had the chance to see Bobby Moore, so they need to be reminded from the older ones. But I think also just to remember the great players who've played for this club as well.
Thank you. Cheers.
Emma?
Hello, David.
Hi there.
The 4-1 at Swansea, I know you were unhappy about, but obviously it followed losing at Liverpool as well. It's a very heavy away defeat. Are you happy to be back at home?
Yeah, we certainly are, and I think we could understand a little bit. Liverpool was a much harder game in ways, but I think at Swansea it didn't work. We lost 2 goals from corners, we lost a penalty kick, and lots of things went away from us. And obviously the loss of 2 centre halves in the week leading up to the game didn't make it easier for me. But as I said before, you know, we've done it. I said what I thought. I didn't think we performed well enough. We put that right on Monday morning. Put it to bed, and you know, I've got to say the players have looked good. They've worked hard. They're well prepared. They've trained all week. So hopefully we can show it in this game.
I've seen this match being described by some, not by you, but some journalists have written it's probably the biggest game in your season. I wonder if you feel that pressure at all.
Do you know, when we went to Stoke about 3 months ago, they told me this was the biggest game. Then I went to Huddersfield and they said this was the biggest game. Then we had Watford at home and this was the biggest game. So I think every game is going to be really important, and until we get the points to make sure we're a Premier League team, which I believe we will do, but you've got to get them. You know, we can talk about it, so we've got to get them. And what we need with that is good performances. And you know, I think here we've had some really good showings, we've had some really good games and good performances, and then we've had some which have been really poor. So we've got to find a little bit of balance. But between now and the end of the season, I think we're certainly going to have to win at least another 3 anyway.
How do you assess Burnley's season? Because they started superbly and then they sort of seemed to show that they were beatable. And as you say, they'll come to this game on the back of a win, but I wonder how you know what kind of Burnley to expect.
Well, you're right. I think Burnley started the season probably like even you look at Brighton and Huddersfield, who all started the season in great form. You know, good wins and got early victories in, which is really important. I hope that with us, with having playing so many away games at the start, where home games will now help us get into the run-in. But what I would say that I think Burnley have had a steady team. They had a good win last week. Prior to that, I think they hadn't scored more than maybe a goal in a game. So we've got to try and take advantage and see if we can score some goals. But obviously, they don't concede many. That's probably their strength. If you're looking at what Burnley's strong points are, they've done a really good job at Burnley, stabilising themselves as a Premier League team and getting themselves into the top half of it now as well.
I know that you were aware that there had been fans planning to protest and those marches had been called off. Some fans, though, had still been keen to march and express their concerns about certain things that they felt they weren't happy about with the club. I just wondered if you had a message for the supporters at the moment.
Well, I have a message to say that it's great for the players and it's great for the management that they're not marching, because we know that when they come in the stadium, then they'll be right behind the team. I think the atmosphere in some of the games has been tremendous. and I think that they know that we need it. We do need it, and I think that there's grievances at every club. Every club you're at, there's grievances against owners, there's grievances against managers or members of the club. All you want to do is make sure that your club's in the right position, and hopefully we'll have nearly 60,000 at the game again tomorrow, and they're all getting behind the team.
Thanks guys, cameras off please.
Thank you.